Hey guys, it's about 5:30, I believe, 5:33 here, Central Time, and I'm coming to you live just to have a conversation. And I would love some feedback. So if you hop on, don't forget to post your name and where you're from in the comments. This morning we started Monday as we do. Hey, Mary Lynn, that's my sister-in-law, y'all. We started this morning with our Master Networks Chapter meeting. And this morning we discussed something that was pretty important: the power of who. Who is in your top 100 people you would like to meet? Who in your life is there to help you get to whatever next level you're trying to get to, whether it's spiritual, financial, anything like that. So we also talked about synergy partners as far as business goes. For an example, we have Dr. Austin Fontenot in our group. He's with Essential Chiropractic, and we talked about some of his synergy partners being massage therapists, physical therapists, people that can refer to him and his business so that he can help mutual clients. We also talked about like Andrew Wallace. He owns Wham Electric. A good referral partner for him would possibly be a plumber, as Andrew installs generators. I believe a plumber is very important to that process for proper installation. So we had this conversation, but it also went above and beyond that. It was more along the lines of, who should you know that you do not know already that you need to add to this list? And again, it could apply to any area in your life. If Brad made a good comment. If you're looking for advice on your marriage, you're not necessarily going to go talk to someone who's going through a divorce, and so on and so forth. So anyways, that leads me to my next chain of events today. Today, I tuned into the Master Networks Live with Chaz Wilson, and he had a phenomenal speaker. He always has great speakers, but today he had Patrick Bet-David, I believe is the last name, on his show. And this guy literally blew my mind. I mean, he did take me on. He got my attention for sure when he mentioned Oscar De La Hoya. And as some of you may know, I am a huge boxing fan. In fact, Oscar De La Hoya was one of my favorites. I remember as a little girl, my dad and my mom would have fight night to watch Oscar De La Hoya. And it's just good memories. And I love the sport of boxing. But anyways, so he shared some really cool things on the podcast today. What he's doing, who he is, and he was just real. He talked about things that may be considered controversial and wasn't afraid to put it out there, which I really respect, because I love when people are just real and raw with what they have, whether it's emotional thoughts, just anything like that. That was really, really cool. And it made a huge impact today for the Connect, Share, Prosper podcast for me personally. So if you haven't checked that out, I do have it shared on my page. Just go and rewatch it. It was really good and worth your time to check that out. So anyways, going towards the Dream 100, I got to add Patrick to that list. He seems like a pretty cool dude that you can kind of hash some good conversation out with, which is kind of cool. But I started to read after that podcast. And one of the books that I'm reading right now is by Nicole Lapin. Let's see if you can see that. So that's the book that I'm reading right now. What's really cool is I just started reading this, and she starts off the book with a great concept that I think many of us miss. So she goes into explaining how whether you're a W-2 employee or you're self-employed or whatever your situation is, you can be the boss of yourself. And I think the moment that we realize we really are the boss of our own self, it's essential to accountability for ourselves and the results that we see, right? So like, for instance, if you say you're going to do something The only person holding you accountable, aside from your kids, if you have kids, they do remember everything you say you're going to do, and some of the things you're not going to do. But in this case, no matter what situation you are in, the moment you take ownership of yourself and the actions that you take and the results that you get, it's just, it's an epiphany, really. So at the end of the day, I guess the whole point of this is whether you own a business or you don't, you're working for a corporation, whatever the case may be, whatever your situation is, you are truly the boss of your own success. Okay? So whether or not you get the results that you want to see is totally and completely up to you. It is as simple as knowing what you want. And maybe you need to just check in with yourself and say, hey, look, I'm going to sit down with self and say, hey, self, what do you want out of life? What do you want from this job? What do you want to see in the future? Really sitting down and having that conversation with yourself to realize what you're working for. What are you waking up for? Why do you do the things that you do? And when you have clarity on that, you can then take responsibility for it and say, okay, what did I do today to contribute to tomorrow? Am I working closer to the results that I want to see from life, whether it's work, family, career, fitness? For example, my friend Tarek Johnson, he owns Freedom Fitness in Mandeville. If you're looking for a personal trainer, that's a good place to start. But you have to make up your mind first that, hey, I want to get in shape. I want to do this. And then you may need to seek a who to help you with that. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to you assessing what you need and what you want, and then taking the actions required to get to the results that you need. Okay? So this live was just to share a message that it's all about ownership. Own what you do, own who you are, and be happy about it. Don't worry about anyone else's opinion, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's your life, not theirs. It's your story being told. So check in with yourself, love on yourself a little bit, and then decide what you want from life, from your job, from your family, from your church, and then figure out how to go about to get the results that you set in motion that you want. Thanks for tuning in with me. Hey, Leslie. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.